Those are just some of the things I like to do. And I would say this trip, one, because when April told me about Morocco, and she was so excited when she was on her trip to Morocco and when she returned from Morocco, that of course it was contagious. And anyone who is ready to plan a trip before they even come back from the trip and wants to plan it with other people, I'm all for that, and I'm excited for that. I would say in terms of places I'd like to go in the world, I can't think of very many places that aren't on my list. And Morocco has been on my list for some time. So when April came back and said that she was going to plan this trip, I was on board from the beginning. So as soon as she put it together, I was ready to press go. And I've never taken a trip this long before, so this is going to be something very special, I think, for me to take a trip for close to 3 weeks is going to be a big deal for me. Usually most of the trips I take are, a week, maybe 10 days on the long side. So this, I feel, is going to be awesome because it'll be such a big deal and such an immersive experience. And I think I'm really ready to do something like that. I am right in the throes of, I guess, what would be middle age. I just had a birthday last week. It's a kind of semi-big birthday. So I wanted to do something to kind of really push myself, to go to a place where it would be so much different than what we have here in the U.S. I've taken a couple of trips to some countries that have been very different, like India, and I feel like Morocco will be a little bit like India was for me when I went quite some time. I went to India it's been 15 years since I went to India. And that was quite a different place because it's such a different culture and such a different, they have such a different day-to-day experience than we do in the States. But it was a great trip. It was a challenging trip, but it was fantastic. And I'm ready to do something else that's like that. I also love the fact that April was putting in a retreat element into the trip. I'm at the time in my life where I'm really thinking more about what is my next chapter in my life, what else I would like to do with my life, and thinking a lot deeper about who I am and taking more time for myself. So I feel like this trip will do that as well, and I like the spirit of that. I love the fact that it'll be a small trip. I'm not big into large trips. I've taken some very large trips before in my life, and they were great, but I do like being with a smaller group of people. A smaller group of ladies will be nice, where we're kind of going through this together, but it's not completely overwhelming, and we kind of have each other to lean on, and that feels good to me. I do a lot of travel by myself as well. So I'm not accustomed to, traveling with tons of people anymore. I'm used to traveling with either very small groups or alone. So I thought this would be a good way to travel to Morocco as well. I also am getting better. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. So I think that's important to mention in terms of where I am in my life as well. I have been, on the road to recovery for the last couple of years, but it's also still quite a challenge for me living day to day with, because even though you're a cancer survivor, you're still living day to day with cancer. So for me to I'm still getting used to what we call the new normal. I'm still getting used to that. So I'm still dealing with that. And I feel like travel does, help to push me in different ways and also helps me to feel good in this kind of new space and new body and new everything that I'm in. So that's kind of where I am. In terms of what I'm doing to